Green 18. Green 19.
Every single week, I put my freaking heart and soul into this. I study my ass off. I don't go out there and laugh. It's not funny.
When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Good evening. Welcome to the long balls with the three longest balls of them all. We have Seth. Seth, how was your week, bud?
It's good, man. I'm glad to be back on here. You know, I was traveling up to Lambeau 2 weeks ago, and then last week my fucking holler net got me, man. So glad to be back talking football with you guys.
Jordan?
Everything's good, man. Busy week at my house. We're going on vacation this weekend, so that along with the Christmas countdown, man, it's been a busy couple weeks. So
It's fucking life, man.
yeah.
And I'm Hawk, and my week is just fucking great. Another Colts game in the bag. Counting down now, and now you're just waiting for the season. I'm in that point where I want the season to end.
You're one step closer to the grave.
Yeah. Well, we'll start off with a Homer rant. I'm not even going to play the fucking drop because I don't have much to say. And that is exactly what happened needed to happen. We needed to lose. You wish they would have kept it a little bit close for respect, but whatever. We got to lose every game. So if you want to get humiliated on national TV, fucking feel free. I don't give a fuck. We're in rebuild. Fuck off. Season's over. Can't wait. Who's next?
I'll go. I'll say that I'm glad that I was able to see the peak of the 2022 Titans in person, because I think they kind of busted their nut in that game at Lambeau, man, and it's been pretty piss poor the last 2 weeks. You know, I saw the GM get canned today. We're gonna go to detail on that a little bit later on, but I was thinking they were a dark horse Super Bowl contender a few weeks ago, and now I think they're definitely getting one and done in the playoffs.
Oh God, where do we begin with this fucking shit show I root for? Thank God it's a bye week this week. Another game they have a chance to win, but they have Marcus Mariota at quarterback who can't fucking throw a pass, save his goddamn life. I don't know what we're doing. Thank God the Bucks won last night, thankfully, so maybe that'll put us over misery. I don't know.
Is there any rumblings?
Scrappy, though.
Is there any rumblings of Ritter playing, or no? Is it
so? Arthur Smith did say they're going to evaluate every position during the bye week, and next Monday they'll announce who the starter is at quarterback. So I don't know. The Bucks winning last night definitely hurt the Falcons at any chance of the playoffs. So
if they had if they just repeated what the Titans did and replaced him with somebody like Tannehill, I feel like the Falcons would have won 3 or 4 more games. If they just had a straight up average quarterback, like nothing outstanding, just somebody who's not actively hurting your team, man, I think they'd be so much better.
Wait till Ritter comes in for the last 5 games and is actually average, and they would have fucking been better off making this change 6 weeks ago. It's just going to piss me off. I know it is.
And honestly, now that you say that, that could be one of the reasons he's not playing still, because they're like, fuck, this kid could come in and be great, and then we're going to look like fucking assholes for not starting him 5 weeks ago.
It's possible. I mean, if you keep rolling Mariota out there, though, you know what you're going to get, and they're getting it.
Dude, because Mariota, so he's got the penchant for like the back-breaking interceptions, but then also there's times where guys are wide open and he's throwing it like a half step behind him, so they got to like stop or fall down or something to catch it. Whereas if he hit him in stride, they could, break off a 30, 40-yard run after the catch, man. He's just, dude can just not throw the ball anymore at all.
So Drake London would have had a 75-yard walk-in touchdown, but somehow Mariota overthrew him by 10 yards. I'm like... Dude, what the fuck, man? Just float the ball in the air. I don't know.
Well,
it's not fun watching.
I will say this, because you guys, for the longest time, were like, it's not Matt Ryan's fault. He has a bad offensive line. And I, again, not saying he doesn't, but Matt Ryan is making some very piss-poor throws and not, like, he's missing wide-open guys and shit. Again, we're not giving him a lot of help, but Matt Ryan is fucking washed.
It's crazy how he just fell off a cliff like that, man. Because like he has been decent, you know what I mean. And the thing is, it's just like the physical part of it, right? Like he's not accurate. He has like zero pocket presence anymore, man. Like I don't know what the hell happened, dude. Like it's like he just woke up one day and like his fucking football powers were gone or something.
He's
That's
got
all
happy
professional
feet
sports.
too. He's got happy feet. You can tell he doesn't step up and into his throws or anything. I don't know why, but it looks like he keeps trying to run the ball like every other play. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, he broke off that long ass run that first game Jeff Saturday coached, and he was like, "Yeah, that felt good. Let me chase that feeling."
It's post-traumatic stress, man. Every time he gets the ball, he's assuming he's getting ready to get completely fucking demolished.
Doesn't help they played the Cowboys with Michael Parsons. I'd be absolutely terrified too if I was him.
Yeah, well, and I will say one more thing about the game is on third down, we knew we were fucking doomed. If you remember every third down, dude, they brought the house and it was like we didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was looking at a fucking team picture when he dropped back to pass.
Man, it was fucking nuts. But that's how it's been a lot of the season. But enough about those fucking losers. Let's talk about your Titans a little bit, Seth. Big move today, just out of nowhere, firing their GM.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Brown had one of the all-time revenge performances that we've seen in any sport. You know what I mean? Gets traded, didn't want to get traded at all, and then, but you know, when they couldn't come to a new deal, the GM trades him, and he just fucking crushes them, man. Had 2 touchdowns, he had a 3rd touchdown that got called back on a penalty, and you know, Mike Vrabel was not a fan of the trade, man. They had like cameras in the Titans war room. During the draft, and it showed like when that news broke, and you see Mike Vrabel stand up and walk out of the room right when it gets announced. He clearly looked pissed off, and he had told the media at the end of the season last year that there's no way AJ Brown was getting traded as long as he was there. But for whatever reason, the GM wanted to move him, and that's what the Titans have missed, man. You know, Derrick Henry's the only thing they got on offense. So the rumors in the Nashville media, I haven't seen this get picked up a lot. There's a lot of rumors that Mike Vrabel has been flirting with Ohio State, that Ohio State, if they have a bad showing in the playoffs, they might move on from Ryan Day and bring Vrabel back. And supposedly this was a move to make Vrabel happy, you know, to get rid of that GM. So I don't know, man. I kind of like it because this GM, I'm still pissed about them trading AJ Brown.
Speaking of Vrabel's war room, do you remember 2 drafts ago when they accidentally caught like his son taking a shit on camera? And they tried to explain it away, and they're like, no, that's not what it was, but the picture clearly shows that the dude's just sitting on the fucking crapper. When you said Mike Vrabel's war room in his house, that's what I always think about that. And secondly, I was in Ohio when Ohio lost to Michigan. And Ohio State fans are so fucking spoiled, man.
Yes.
Ryan Day, he only makes the college fucking playoffs every single goddamn year. You know, he lost. They haven't lost to Michigan in like 20 years. Like, they dominated it for like 20 years, and they've lost 2 in a row. And now all of a sudden they're like, he's got to go. We can't beat Michigan. It's like, it's a rivalry, motherfuckers. It's only a rivalry if you lose sometimes. It's fine. Keep your fucking coach, Ohio State. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, college fans are nuts. Like when I saw that popping up on Twitter today, that's my initial thought was I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, Ohio State's like always good, but then like just doing like a little, you know, quick dive into like Ohio State fandom, I see like, no, like a lot of people want this guy out of there. It's like national championship or bust.
It's insane.
Yeah, college football is a completely different game, man. Those guys are now with the NILs and stuff, and the kids getting paid. Like, people are a lot less patient now.
It's true. But back to the NFL and the AJ Brown trade. So this, you know, the offseason was a big year for big time receiver. I mean, you could argue that the 3 best receivers got traded in the offseason with Hill, Adams, and Brown. And the difference between Brown and the other 2 is, the other teams, I see their logic a little. Even if I don't agree with the trades, I see the logic. It's like, we have Mahomes. He can throw to anybody, which is true. We had Rodgers. He can throw to anybody, which used to be true. Isn't true anymore. But the A.J. Brown thing didn't make any sense because you have Tannehill and then you drafted a rookie to maybe take over. So, no, A.J. Brown's exactly the type of player you need to build around. So I don't know why the fucking Titans didn't pay him. and it shows. And I could see why Vrabel was fucking pissed. And Vrabel's shown to be a fucking great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taking a roster of fucking no one and making them competitive, winning the AFC South like every year, where the GM has shown that he makes fucking bonehead plays like trading AJ Brown. And if one's got to go, it's like, yeah, you know what? We'll keep Vrabel. He didn't trade away our fucking. And make no mistake, AJ Brown could be a generational receiver. Like he's that
good,
kind of
man.
guy. He's not just another receiver on your team. He's a clear-cut top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, and he's only going to get better, I would say.
Yeah.
So
He's
I agree.
25 fucking years old.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't even out of his rookie contract when they traded him. Like,
And he's the kind of guy, like, you could just throw it to him. He doesn't even got to be open. He's so physical. Like, he will literally just muscle guys out of the way and get the ball, man. Like, it seemed like the last couple years watching the Titans, there was always a couple plays a game where Tannehill was like, fuck it, and just chucked it up to A.J. Brown, and he would always make the play for him, man. So yeah, that was it was definitely painful seeing him go off on Sunday.
isn't it kind of funny, too? Everybody came into last weekend, and they're like, man, if you make the Eagles throw the ball, that's how you're going to beat them. Well,
Dude, Jalen Hurts might be front runner for MVP.
Yeah, dude, he had 380 yards passing.
Yeah, I think I've been down on the Eagles all offseason, man. All season long. I don't know, dude. They're starting to win me over. The NFC's so weak, man. Like maybe if Jalen Hurts can keep this up, man, they really might be able to actually make it back to the Super Bowl.
The NFC's not weak, Seth. It's competitive.
There you
That's
go.
what we're saying now. It's not mediocre. It's competitive.
Yeah.
But I can even go back to when DeAndre Hopkins got traded for fucking nothing. David Johnson. And I don't know what it is with the NFL not valuing wide receiver ones when the league's clearly a pass-driven league. Like Devontae Adams, I have him in fantasy. He's the only player I had that's really producing for me. Even when the Raiders lose, he's getting like 40 fantasy points. He's always throwing up like 152 TD. I mean, the dude's good for 100 yards every fucking game.
Oh yeah.
And usually 1 TD. So I just don't understand these teams who have these fucking players like that, and you just trade them. It doesn't. And again, I understand the logic if you have a great QB, but if you don't, like the Titans, made no sense. And yeah, that's a move that gets GMs fired, in my opinion. When you're winning, no one says anything, but then you have like you said, they peaked at Lambeau, a couple losses, and now all of a sudden, now that trade looks fucking ridiculous. We were fine with it when we were 7-3, but now that we're 7-5, we hate you.
Yeah, and I mean it's so bad because, like, dude, the rookie they drafted, Jalen Burks, he's pretty freaking good. Like, he's a pretty good receiver, and he's still nowhere close to AJ Brown, man. Like, it's not even coming close to like filling that void that he left in the offense. So I don't know. I'm glad if this means that Vrabel's sticking around for a few more years, then that's definitely a good thing for the Titans. But we'll see how it plays out.
I will say, if the Ohio State job opens up, college football is a cush job if you're good, and Ohio State's ready-made for success. And I'm guessing Vrabel went to Ohio State for that to make sense.
Yeah, he's Ohio State alumni, so
I gotcha.
I
like that.
He's got to have his eye on that job, man. There's no way that's not something he thinks about.
Yeah.
Especially with because not only did we see when you say the Titans peaked out at Lambeau, I think this core, like the Titans that we've seen for the last 3 years, I think we're seeing fit, which I thought was going to happen earlier in the year, but it didn't. And now I think you're finally seeing it because they don't have a few Derrick Henrys, because running backs, their careers are fucking short as fuck.
Derrick Henry's already on borrowed time, man. I thought he would have broke down already with as much carries as he gets, you know?
Me too. The rookie, you don't know if the rookie's good. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons outside of Derrick Henry at this point. So I could see Vrabel seeing the writing on the wall, like, okay, this Ohio State job's not going to come around all the time, and I think the Titans might be in for a 2 or 3 year rebuild. So I'd like to get Vrabel out of the division. I always like to see division rivals just in complete disarray.
Yeah, I'd go if I was him. You'd cash out, and the NFL is always going to be there for you if you want to come back, you know?
It's true.
Yep.
All right, well, our weekly quarterback talk here. A couple big ones. We'll start off with something that I think everybody I predicted it in the preseason Long Ball show. You guys weren't here yet, but Jimmy G out for the season. that was my thing. If a team makes the trade for Jimmy G, it's like, yeah, it's tough because he's probably not going to make it through the season. And here we are, man. Jimmy G out for the year. What do you think of the outlook for the Niners, Seth?
So Brock Purdy looked pretty good, man, when he came in. But, you see that a lot. QBs that defense coordinators don't have film on, they can come in and take advantage of it. The plus side is that Kyle Shanahan's offense is arguably like the most QB-friendly system in the league. And he's surrounded with a ton of weapons. But I definitely they were already in trouble with Jimmy G at quarterback. There's already a lot of questions if he'd be good enough to get them to the Super Bowl. I think that's almost out of the question right now. And there's really nobody they can go and get. Like me and Jordan were talking on Sunday. Like, I don't even know who's out there they can go sign. I mean, maybe Baker Mayfield, who we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I don't know if that's an upgrade over Brock Purdy with all the baggage he's going to bring. Just sucks for the 49ers, man.
Well, Baker already signed. He's already
Who did he
gone.
sign with?
The Rams picked him up.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, I still think the 49ers are going to be all right just because they have so many weapons. But, yeah, Brock Purdy is definitely a downgrade from Jimmy G. I don't know, man. This definitely is going to hurt their season. Their defense is going to keep them in every game. So they don't need to score 40 points or anything to win games, but it's not good, man.
Did you guys catch any of the Niners game after Jimmy G went out?
Yeah, I watched most of that game, and like I said, Purdy looked fine, man. He looked good. And the thing is, like, Jimmy G's not like he's not the secret sauce for the 49ers, right? But there's going to come a time in the playoffs when when the chips are down, and you got to ask your quarterback to get us down the field for a field goal or a touchdown. And it was already going to be tough with Jimmy G. And as good as Brock Purdy looked on Sunday, I definitely don't think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, especially not in the playoffs making his debut. So yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to blow teams out, man. If it's a close game, I don't think that I don't think that they're gonna be able to win with him.
Yeah, they're definitely not in a good spot without him.
He didn't pass the eye test.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's something. Dolphins are supposedly good, so I've heard, but then they lose to old Mr. Irrelevant. So we'll see. And then other big quarterback news, we got Baker Mayfield, man, signed with the Rams because it was announced Stafford is out for the season.
Yep.
Do you think?
I think it's a good move for the Rams. Take a flyer on him.
And they got nothing to lose because they're not making the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking, dude, I guess Baker Mayfield must just be a total asshole, like off the field, because I never thought he was that bad in Cleveland, man. But it seemed like Cleveland was just packing his bags for him to get him out of town. So I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened with him. Cause like, you remember his rookie year, he was badass. He was like one of the most hyped players in the league after his rookie season. Beats the Steelers in the playoffs. It's the first time the Browns have won a playoff game since they came back in the league. And they were still just, like I said, it seemed like they couldn't wait to get him the hell out of Cleveland. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Panthers couldn't wait to push him out of town. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like we need to get some more details on what's going on behind the scenes with this guy.
So what I think is the reason Baker Mayfield was all the rage his rookie year, is because he came in and he showed great promise, and he's been really consistent with that first season statistically, and I think we saw the best of Baker Mayfield in his rookie year, and he's still playing at that level that he played at in his rookie year, but that's just what he tops out at. So kudos to him for playing to the absolute best of his ability his rookie year, but he's just never moved past it. Like, it's just who he is as a player. And he always has that arrogance about him. And I think it's one of those things where if you're winning, the arrogance is part of who you are and your charm and what makes you a leader. But when you're losing and you're arrogant, you just look like a fucking asshole. And I think that's probably what's going on with Baker. His teammates even are like, how about you produce on the field and then talk? But when you just become the talker who is mediocre, then you'll turn off even people who are close to you. I think is what's Baker's problem.
He better do something with the Rams, or else Baker Mayfield might be out of the league next year. Not good for him at all. Feel bad for the dude, but like you said, maybe he is a dickhead.
I think this year might set a record for the most week 1 starters in one season to how many are out of the NFL the next season. Because there's just a lot of quarterbacks now, man. I don't care what their name is, what they've done in the NFL. I just don't know how you suit them up again for your team and explain to your fan base why you have Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Baker Mayfield starting. I just don't.
Yeah, it's a tough one to roll out and expect people to drop $2,000 for season tickets and shit to see those guys play.
It is. I don't think there was any other big injury news or
Lamar Jackson. We don't know. We still don't know what the deal is with him. He's supposedly week to week, but he's going to be out at least this week.
I think the exact quote was he's like day to day to week, kind of like, so it sounded like it could be. They squeezed out that game, though. Did they win or did they lose?
They did, yep. Tyler Huntley drove them down. Tyler Huntley looked pretty good that game, too, man. They didn't put a lot of points up, but like if you were like watching from a distance, you would have thought it was Lamar Jackson out there. He was doing a lot of the same shit. And he ran in the touchdown with like 6 seconds left to win it.
Well, good for them. They're going nowhere without Lamar Jackson. All right. Well, let's we did AFC teams last week. You missed it because there was a storm, bud. But we're gonna do NFC this week. So Seth, give me your top 3 NFC teams, man.
So I go Eagles, Vikings, and I'm still gonna stick with the 49ers, man. I'm not a believer in the Cowboys as good as they've looked the last few weeks.
Yeah, mine's the exact same. I will say Minnesota's formula for winning eventually is going to backfire. Like all these 1-score wins, eventually it's going to backfire. But I mean, you just got to ride the lightning while you're on it, I guess. And they're definitely riding the lightning.
Yeah, I'm going to go Philly, Minnesota, and I am going to take the Cowboys. And since I did, they're probably going to go on like a 3-game losing streak because there's 2 teams that I know never to take, and it's the Lions and the Cowboys. And every time I do, they fail me.
That's a lie. Me and you both took the Lions this last week, and they blew the shit out of the Jaguars.
They did, I guess. So that was finally. But still, and I don't like to trust the Cowboys, but I think that they showed me enough. Although it was close going into the fourth quarter.
They showed you enough against your shitty football team. That's what you're saying?
Well, that was the first time I had fucking watched them all year, bud.
Well, so I think the Cowboys' first game is gonna, if it plays out how it's looking like it's gonna play out now, they're gonna have to go to Tampa to play Tom Brady in their first playoff game. So I don't know, man. I mean, the Cowboys are clearly the better team, but it's still Brady in the playoffs.
I didn't watch the game last night, but it looked like there wasn't an offensive performance by Brady. Am I wrong? Did he look
It
old?
wasn't great, but when it got to nut cutting time, motherfucker put 2 touchdown drives together in the last 5 minutes of the game and beat them. First 55 minutes sucked. The last 5 minutes, he put his fucking Superman cape on and went to work, man, and pretty much single-handedly willed that team to victory.
Yeah, I haven't watched Brady play this year, so I don't know if he passes the eye test or not.
He's definitely down a couple notches from where he's been the last few years. Still good, but he's not what he has been, which is totally understandable, but still.
You guys have any other thoughts from this week? Anything you want to talk about? Get off your chest? Any gripes, complaints?
I don't think so, man. I'm still pissed at fucking the Redskins, man. They're the Commanders, whatever we're calling them. They still got heat with me over that fucking Sean Taylor deal. But you know, they actually had a good game though, man. That tie with the Giants was pretty cool. I do think we need to come up with a tiebreaker, man. I'm through with ties in the NFL. I don't know if we need to go to college, OT, or what, man, but we need to come up with some way to like you could do your overtime, but if it hits overtime and they're still tied, like let's come up with a new tiebreaker, man.
I just love how everyone was complaining about the NFL's overtime system and like, all right, we'll make changes to it. And then they make the changes that make it more likely to get a tie.
Yeah.
Because there was another game this year that it didn't end in a tie, but it was pretty fucking close.
Yeah, ties have definitely been up in the 7 or 8 years since they changed the overtime rules. You definitely see a handful of ties every season now.
There should not be ties in the NFL. It's fucking insane. just do it like college, but they start off at like the 50 instead of the 25 or whatever. Like, it's not hard. Make them always go for 2. If it's a thing like, because they used to be like player safety. It's not player safety, motherfuckers. You added a 17th game and teams are already limping into the playoffs. So don't throw me this shit like it's player safety. Just do it system like college. It's not that fucking hard. You'd have no ties. And I think overtime would end quicker.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bunch of punts and stuff like that and all that. So we'll see. They probably won't do anything because they're ridiculous. But ties, they got to go in the offseason.
I think since we don't have like a bunch of topics, I had a couple of quick hitters that we can talk about real quick.
Okay.
Quietly, the Lions have won 4 of 5. Any chance they make the playoffs?
No.
They're 2 games back right now.
That'd be tough, man. But I do think they're looking pretty promising for next year, man. Do you think Jared Goff's going to stick around there? Or do you think they're going to try to find a different quarterback? To me, he's like one of those guys who's like right on the cusp, like almost like too good to not good enough to like get you the Super Bowl, but too good to just straight up shit can.
Well, the biggest problem for them is they're going to end up getting like a top 3 pick. So they're going to have to make that decision pretty fucking quick because they get the Rams pick.
And if they don't make the playoffs, their pick will be, so they'll have 2 picks within like the top 15 16, then 15 or 16.
I think the Eagles are going to have like a top 5 pick also, man, because they got the Saints first round pick.
So are the Seahawks because they have the Broncos pick.
Jeez, dude. How bad is that?
Possible playoff teams that are going to get top 5 picks.
Yeah, I could see the Eagle or the Lions still taking QB though, keeping Goff there for one more season to let whoever they draft
just sit
kind of have a season under Goff. But the Rams traded him for a reason. They knew that they were a quarterback away when they had Goff, and people act like Super Bowls aren't the ultimate reason everyone's playing the fucking game.
Oh,
That's why
the Rams won those trades. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying, like, if your quarterback on your roster isn't leading you to a Super Bowl, I don't care where you're at in your rebuild. I don't care if you're at the beginning of it or if you're a quarterback away. If the quarterback of your team isn't going to take you to a Super Bowl, you look elsewhere. And that's just, and kudos to like the Niners. They realized it. They're like, yeah, Jimmy G got us to a Super Bowl. Is he going to win us one? No, let's try Trey Lance. The Rams, Jared Goff got us to a Super Bowl, but is he going to win us one? No, let's go get Matt Stafford. So kudos to those teams because that's what good GMs do. They realize like, oh, fuck. The quarterback is not winning us a Super Bowl. He might win us games. He might get us into the playoffs. So
it's the same thing with the Colts. They were like, is Carson Wentz getting us to the Super Bowl? And they said no. So they went out and got Matt Ryan.
Exactly. And look where it's gotten us. This is eventually what happens when you keep playing season after season without a QB who can get you to the Super Bowl. You're going to end up in a fucking rebuild.
The Colts are like they stream starting QBs the way I stream like my tight ends on my fantasy football team, dude. Just fucking they go year to year, I go week to week, man.
And what's crazy is it's made our GM, everyone thought he was great, but it's made him look like a complete idiot. So we'll see. And I think that the Lions, and again, the Lions don't have a track record for doing the best things with their draft picks.
Yeah.
But I think you take the Rams pick, it's probably going to be a top 5. And I think you fucking get a new QB who can, because obviously they got a good young roster that seems like they could be dangerous in a couple years. So don't fuck around with Goff. Don't act like he's the guy. Keep him around. I'm not saying get rid of him, but definitely draft his replacement in the top 5 of the draft. And I would say that for any team. The Eagles don't. That Jalen Hurts can lead you to a Super Bowl. I think we'll see how he does in the playoff.
He looks good. A lot of people wrong. I got one, man. How scary are the Bengals starting to look, dude? They are looking like they are rounding into form, man. Getting Jamar Chase back, and they're going to get Joe Mixon back this week. Like they look like they're ready to go on another deep run in the playoffs.
They're going to have to earn it because their fucking schedule is brutal down the stretch. So they're definitely
I kind of like how tough their schedule is, man. Like I think they're going to get in and they're going to be fucking battle tested by the time they get in there, you know?
I mean, they got the Browns this week who Burrow has never beat. So
I just don't think you could beat the Chiefs 4 times in a row. So I almost think the Bengals winning this game against the Chiefs could hurt them if they played them in the playoffs. Although last season, I remember saying there's no way the Bengals beat the Chiefs twice in a row. And they did. Sometimes there's just teams that own you, man. And it looks like the Bengals just fucking own the Chiefs. I don't know why.
The crazy thing is, I think if they do play in the playoffs the way it's laying up right now, it's going to be in Kansas City. So they're going to have to go on the road again and do it in the playoffs just like last year.
Dude, the Bengals are in Travis Kelce's head. He does not ever play well against that team. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but he slammed his helmet on the sideline twice coming off the field after drives. Like, I don't know what it is, but that team's in his head.
But that defense is chippy, man. Like, the Titans always do pretty good against the Chiefs too. And like the Bengals got kind of that same thing, man. It's like a fucking gang fight the way their defense plays, dude. Like they're hitting, they're pushing up off the guys and shit when they're getting up off the ground. They're throwing sneaking little elbows into the lower back and shit. And, not that Travis Kelce's soft, man, but I don't think he likes dealing with that shit.
No. The other one I had was, is it just a requirement if you're a Chargers head coach to underachieve? Like, is it just like in your contract, like, hey, man, I know we're making a playoff push, but we should really try to lose to shitty teams down the stretch? Like, I mean, Staley's going to get fired. There's no way they're keeping him another year after this.
I mean, it was Josh McDaniel he lost to, man, so we can cut him some slack.
Hey, all right, let's get into it. Hold on. Perfect segue.
He's back,
your boy.
Man.
Is that a 2-game win streak?
Yep, 5-7. He's got freaking Devontae Adams going fucking nuclear on people out there, man. He may last longer than one season now.
If the Raiders win like 2 more games this season, they could probably make the playoffs in the AFC. Nobody wants to make the playoffs in the AFC. It seems like.
Yeah. Let me look up the current playoff picture. But yeah, they I don't know what's up with the Chargers, man. Like if they just can't fucking win, dude. They aren't good at winning. It's not like they play like shit, right? They're usually always in the games and stuff, but they just got a knack for finding a way to lose, man.
And when you're watching the Chargers play, because I've actually caught a bits and pieces of them this year, and they look good. You're never watching them like, this team sucks.
Yeah, they look like they know what they're doing out
lose.
there.
It's weird because Herbert's good when you're watching him. You're like, oh, they got a money quarterback. The roster's decent. Yeah, I don't understand why they're so competitive is the term I'm going to use instead of mediocre.
Yeah.
But so after this 2-game winning streak, do you think Josh Daniels is off the hot seat?
It's cool. I mean, if they take a left turn and drop these last 4 games or last 5 games and it's ugly, I could see him going. But for now, I think he should be safe.
Okay. Any other thoughts for this week, fellas?
So yeah, the Raiders, they're 2 games back with 5 to go. They're sitting behind the Chargers, and the Patriots are ahead of them, and then the Jets are sitting in that last wild card spot in the AFC.
The Jets are going to lose like 4 of their last 5 games, guaranteed.
Jets aren't making the playoffs. But join us next week for the playoff. We're going to start, since all the bye weeks are over, next week we're going to start doing a weekly playoff picture update. So we'll be able to that'll be something we can get into. But right now, let's get into it. We got what week is this? This
is week 14.
Week 14. Okay. Yep, here we go. I got them up here. Big week.
These fucking bye weeks are killer, man. I don't know why they're having bye weeks all the way into week 14. Like the NFL should know, like fantasy football drives a big chunk of their business. And week 14 is the regular season finale in almost all fantasy football leagues, man. And we got fucking buys. Like, how do you let that happen?
It's bye-mageddon.
Yeah, we'll talk about fantasy in a second, I guess. But I told you what we should do about buys. Have 2 bye weeks, like all the AFC 1 week, all the NFC next week.
Love it.
Or at least half the league 1 week, half the league the other week.
Yeah.
But the NFL's dumb that between that and their fucking overtime rules, Fucking retards.
They need to take my idea. No bye weeks, but each player is only allowed to play 16 games in the season. It's up to the teams to determine which game they sit out.
Jesus.
That would be fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, imagine they do it right before the game starts, like a minute before the game starts, and your fantasy lineup already locked.
I just like it for like real football purposes, man. I think it'd be pretty fucking cool to see this. That would add some serious strategy, man. And you could really get some good trash talk. Like, you're a shit team if like we're the team that everybody's benches their starting quarterback this week against us.
People revolt if like Mahomes couldn't play in a game completely healthy. He's like, he just can't play. Yeah, right. That's I actually don't mind that, except the one exception being the quarterback. They should be able to play every week because they don't get touched anyway, hardly.
Sure.
As a couple quarterbacks went out for the season. All right, we'll go with Thursday night football. Fuck. We got the Raiders going to the Rams.
Another fucking Thursday night instant classic. That's a fucking toilet bowl right there, dude. I think the Raiders keep the momentum going, though, and they get an easy dub against the Rams.
Yeah, I'll go Raiders as well.
I'm with you, and that's going to put Josh McDaniels on a 3-game winning streak. The Raiders in the thick of the playoff hunt.
Yep.
God, maybe you were right, Seth. Maybe we mocked you. We put together this fucking bumper everything, and like you were right.
I don't think it's thanks to him. I think it's Devontae. The team's got some pretty good talent, and Devontae Adams has gone next level over the last like 5 weeks, man.
They haven't lost since Derek Carr cried at the press conference either.
Which we have. If you guys want to hear it, I love it. That's one of my favorite goddamn sound bites of the season right there.
It's not a good look, but if I'm a fan, I do want like the players to fucking care. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want my starting quarterback out there crying, but I would rather have that instead of the guys who are like just shrugging it off and dapping it up right after getting fucking boat raced on Sunday or something.
You don't want any of your players crying in a post-game conference.
Especially your quarterback.
It's goddamn man's game. If they're that emotional, keep him off the fucking stage. Don't let him go out there. Be like, he can't talk to you guys. He's got something going on.
He's taking a shit.
Whatever. All right. This is actually a fucking pretty great game we have going on. Cleveland going to Cincy. Like Jordan said, Burrow's never beat Cleveland since he's been in the league. Cleveland just got Deshaun Watson back. It's in Cincy. What do you think, Seth?
Deshaun Watson did not look good at all on Sunday. I feel like they would have been better off just fucking riding it out with Jacoby Brissett this year. I don't know. I think the Bengals win easy, and I got some serious concerns. This Deshaun Watson move could end up being the second worst move of the year after the Broncos trading for Russell Wilson.
Well, you think? Wait, trade or the move of playing him this season?
The move of trading for him. That's what I'm saying. They had to play him, right? They owed it to the fans and stuff to at least play him.
You think trading for Deshaun Watson was a bad idea? Because he was rusty in his first game back.
I'm going off that. Yeah, I mean, it's been almost 2 years since he's played, so.
That's my point. It wasn't just one season. Like, he set out pretty much the bulk of 2 seasons. So, but
it was against the Texans, who are like barely, they're like an NFL team in name only. I thought it could have been a little bit, even accounting for the rust, he looked really shitty on Sunday.
I agree with you, maybe, but I'm just saying pump the brakes on it. It was the worst trade. It's up there with the Russell Wilson trade because it's just
the
not.
Fact that there's the trade plus the contract. Like, they gave this dude $250 fully guaranteed, man. So there's not even any way of fucking getting out of this train wreck of a deal.
I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson's great. He's going to be great. He's going to shake off the rust. This is different because Russell Wilson, we're just seeing the age caught up with him, I think, is what you're seeing with Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson, it's literally just rust. The speed of the NFL game, man, is fucking crazy. I remember Luck had the comment his first season back after pretty much sitting out like a season and a half. And people asked him, what do you had to adjust to? And he's like, I had to adjust to the speed of the game. You forget how fast NFL defenses are. Can you imagine Deshaun Watson? Because even in practice, it's different because you're wearing the red jersey.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting your head taken off. Your internal clock can be whatever the fuck you want it to be because it's touch football in practice. You get out there, he didn't have preseason, so you get out there in the NFL and all of a sudden, fuck, it's fast. Give him a second.
All right, enough about this rapist. I'm going to go Bengals as well, but I would not bet on the line.
I'm going to go Bengals also because I think the Bengals are putting it together exactly how they did last year, and I think they could make another run to the Super Bowl. I like Burrow. He's a winner. Winners win. All right. Ravens going to Pittsburgh. We don't know if Lamar Jackson's playing.
He's not going to play.
I think
He's
even
not
if Lamar Jackson plays, I think Steelers win, man. The Steelers have looked pretty tough the times I've seen them this year too. Like the record doesn't show it, but I feel like they're playing pretty good football. Yeah, I say Steelers win.
As somebody who just watched the Steelers play, the Steelers are not a good team. They are just not a good team. If you let Atlanta hang around in a game, you're not good.
Everybody's let Atlanta hang around, though. I mean, Atlanta beat San Francisco. I think you're underplaying Atlanta, dude. Atlanta's a scrappy fucking team, man.
No. They beat San Francisco because their entire defense and Deebo Samuel set out. I'm not giving any credit to that win. The Ravens are winning this game.
I don't know. Tiny hands coming through, man.
Fuck that gloved hand fuck.
I will go with Pittsburgh because it's in Pittsburgh, and with Jackson's not playing, they've been underwhelming with Jackson. So without him, I don't think they stand a chance. And I'll go with Pittsburgh and tiny hands.
You're too fucking wishy-washy. Dude, last week you were like, "Oh fuck, I love that the Steelers are bad." Now you're fucking picking them again. It's like you want Tomlin to have a winning season.
What the fuck do you want from me? Lamar Jackson's out.
And the Ravens
Holy
look
fuck.
like shit. The Ravens are like they have like underperformed like what their record shows, man. Like they are not that good of a team.
They're not.
Wishy-washy. I make accurate assessments week to week. It's an ever-changing game. Things fucking change, man. Wishy-washy. No. I don't accept that.
All right. Keep it rolling.
We got Houston at Dallas.
Ooh, this should be
battle
a good
for
one.
Texas.
Dude, I think the Cowboys might go back-to-back 50 burgers, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a fucking ugly game. The Texans are really bad.
We tied them.
They let the Browns score 3 defensive and special teams touchdowns against them.
Dallas is going to roll Houston.
I agree. Dallas rolls. Jags at Tennessee. Any update on Lawrence? I hadn't even read.
He finished the game on Sunday, so
he got carted off. I heard he got carted off, but then he
did.
Also,
he got his ankle rolled up real ugly, but then he came back out and played the second half. Didn't play that great, but he did play. So I don't know if they just had him pumped full of fucking lidocaine or something or what, but I assume he's playing. I think the Titans win this one, dude. The Jaguars are basically like Derrick Henry's personal fucking punching bag, and I think he's going to go off for a big game. He's due after a couple slow weeks.
I don't know what Seth just said there, but I'm going to go Tennessee as well.
Coach Kilmer.
What, lidocaine? Isn't that a fucking...
Shooting up fucking Trevor Lawrence's knee at halftime.
Yeah, he needed fucking Mox to come up and say, hey.
Fucking Bud Kilmer.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tennessee because Jacksonville sucks, and Vrabel's good coach is at Tennessee, so fuck it. All right, Minnesota at Detroit.
It's in Detroit. I think Detroit could steal this one, man. That's gonna be my upset pick of the week, man. I think Lions win.
God damn it. That's what I was going to do, too. I honestly think Minnesota's due for a letdown game, and I just feel
Lions
like
are squirrely. I could see this being like the Lions Super Bowl. This is just another game for the Vikings. I could see Dan Campbell, he's like a hellfire and brimstone style coach. I could see him getting them just fucking like pissed off, fired up. Like this could be like Detroit's Super Bowl right here.
Talking about fucking wishy-washy. You guys were like, Dan Campbell's going to be fired next week.
And
now you're like, I think they're going to win.
I don't think he's a good long-term coach at all.
He's not.
He's a culture coach. You know what I mean? Like he's all about like, firing them up and motivating and stuff. And those guys typically don't last. It's the guys that are more like the fucking strategic dudes that end up having long careers, man. But I do think he could get his team fired up and ready to go kick some Kirk Cousins ass this Sunday.
Little puppies piss on the porch while the big dogs eat.
Yeah, saying a bunch of shit like that, dude.
I'm not wishy-washy, so I'm going to go with the Vikings over the Lions because fuck the Lions. We got the Jets going to Buffalo, another in-state rivalry. Well, I guess it's technically not in-state because the Jets play in New Jersey. But You get the gist of it. Jets going to Buffalo.
Bills. I want to pick Mike White, Western Kentucky University Hilltopper, just like Bailey Zappi. But I think the Bills take this one. They get revenge from that loss that they somehow got against Zach Wilson earlier this year.
Yeah, I feel like the Bills are gonna. I mean, they better start playing better because we're on the stretch run now, and I just feel like the Jets are about to tank. Like, and it's nothing wrong with the Jets. I mean, they've had a great season to this point. I feel like the glass slipper is about to break, and they're about to just get tanked by every team.
I agree. They've totally they outplayed themselves for sure. And it's shocking that the record's so good for having no quarterback. Like, their quarterback's been shit all year. I had Zach Wilson in fantasy, did fucking nothing, and then he got benched. There's no way you win consistently in the NFL in December without a quarterback. Jets might not win another game. Buffalo for sure.
I will say this. If the Jets somehow stay in playoff contention and even make the playoffs, Robert Saleh better get some Coach of the Year votes. I'm not saying
at least already get some consideration, dude. They're another tough team, man. This season's already a success for them. Even if they did lose out, man, like, this has already been a really successful year for the Jets.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Which is a shocker. I think I had him on my list of coaches to get fired during the season.
Yeah, none of us have ever been wrong on this show about coaches getting fired.
I think the move from Zach, I think he earned himself a lot of, cred or whatever, like making the move to bench Zach Wilson, because it's been a smash success. They crushed the Bears that first week, and then they came up just short against the Vikings. They played a damn good game against the Vikings, and Mike White did real good, and they just, like I said, just came up a little bit short there at the end.
Yep.
Mike White, man.
Mike fucking White.
We got Philly going to the Giants. Big game.
Big game. NFC East. Always, usually pretty competitive, but I think the Eagles take it.
Dude, I just feel like Philly is starting to round into form on offense, and I don't know, man. I think they're going to be really tough to beat. Philly.
They made a believer out of me with that ass whooping on Sunday, man. You guys know, I've been doubting them all year, man. But I'm starting to snap up some Philly stock.
They're good.
I'm going to take the Giants since it's in New York. I think Philly's due for a loss, and Giants have been playing decent this year. So fuck it. I'm going to break away from the pack. I'm a leader, not a follower. Giants. We got the Chiefs at the Broncos.
Chiefs, 40. I think they're dropping 40, and the Broncos are scoring about 10 points.
I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I don't think they're dropping 40. Denver's defense is fucking good, dude. They don't give up a lot of points. Denver's not going to score at all probably in this game.
They're good. I feel like they got to be close to having their morale just like completely shattered, dude. Because how many straight weeks can you go out there and just put up fucking brick wall performances as a defense just see your offense put up fucking 9 points?
Well, let's see. They've played 12 games, and they've done it for 12 games because they would.
If you can't score, you can't score, man.
They would literally
matter.
be 11-1 if they scored 19 points in each game.
Yeah, they're the first team in NFL history this late in the season that they've scored the least amount of points, and they've also given up the least amount of points. Like, nobody's ever been that off balance and stuff, man.
Yeah, that'll create a very content locker room when the defense has a Super Bowl caliber ability and the offense, they can't even fucking beat a college team.
Yeah. Let's ride.
Chiefs.
Broncos country, baby.
Let's ride.
All right. Let's go Carolina at Seattle. Who gives a fuck about this game?
Yeah, that's like the snooze bowl, man. I think Seattle wins an extremely fucking boring game.
It seems like it should be a Thursday night game.
Yeah, that is like
Carolina.
Big Thursday night football vibes coming off of that one, dude.
God. Did you pick Jordan?
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah, I'll take Seattle because a team sucks if they cut Baker Mayfield. You're like, oh, fuck, your season is dog shit. All right. Oh, man, this could be a decent one. We got Tampa Bay going to the Niners. Garoppolo out for the year.
I say Niners still win, man. I think they can get a little bit of juice out of Brock Purdy for at least one more game before defense start cracking down on him. So I say Niners.
I'm gonna go Niners as well. The Bucs offense it's just not good, man. For some reason, it's just not clicking. Mike Evans isn't doing his thing this year. I don't know, man. It's just weird, but yeah, I feel like the Niners will play enough defense and score just enough points.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay because I don't think you can win in the NFL with the third string QB, and I stand by that. So Tampa Bay. All right, we got Miami going to the Chargers.
Chargers.
God, I was so much more excited for this game before the Chargers got beat by the Raiders.
I think the Chargers.
I feel like the Dolphins
they're starting to get in desperation mode.
Dude, I feel like the Dolphins are due to have a little bit of a losing streak. I don't know, man. Just their defense has not been near as good as I thought it was going to be when they traded for Bradley Chubb. They're not playing well on defense. So I'm going to go Chargers as well, just because it's a home game and it's clear across the country for the Dolphins. Oh no, the Dolphins just played at the Niners, didn't they? So they're just staying there.
Yeah, they're staying in Cali.
Well, either way, I'm still going Chargers on that West Coast time.
Thanks for getting that whole explanation just to be like, yeah, fuck it. I'm still picking them anyways.
I'll go with the Dolphins because they lost to the Niners, and I just think they're a better team than going on a 2-game losing streak. And like we said earlier, the Chargers, they just don't win some games they should win. And
which is why they'll win the game they shouldn't win.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily not supposed to win this game.
Well, Vegas would tell you that you're wrong because the Dolphins are favored by 3.
Really?
Well,
in
fuck
LA,
Vegas. What do they know? All they know how to do is pay off refs to make calls to make the spreads look good. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins, and I stand by it.
Good job.
That was prime time. That was Sunday night. So now we got the Monday night game. New England at Arizona Cardinals.
Jesus. What a
I
train
say
wreck.
Patriots, man. That game sounds like another shitty game, dude. Like watching Kyler Murray run around with a chicken with his head cut off for 3 hours, and while the Patriots win by putting up like fucking 13 points. But yeah, I think Belichick cooks up something good on defense, and Patriots
Zappy
win.
gets the start. And
If Zappy started, it wouldn't even be a question, but it would just be one word Patriots. But with Mac Jones in there, I think they'll do enough to still get the win in the desert.
Yeah, dude, the Cardinals are just such a weird team. And ever since somebody told me to watch Kyler Murray run and he looks like a toddler with scissors running, I can't unsee it, and I cannot take that team serious anymore. I'm going to go Patriots as well. I just think Belichick will cook something up to slow that team down.
some defender said that Kyler Murray plays like a high school quarterback. I can't remember who said it.
It was his former teammate.
No, I thought it was LaShawn McCoy that said that.
Oh yeah, but
he had LaShawn. So LaShawn McCoy's the one that said that he plays like a high school quarterback, and you could tell he doesn't like watch film and all the plays because he's just basically like freestyling back there. And then Patrick Peterson, who plays for the Vikings now, played for the Cardinals last year. He said that Kyler Murray's like not interested in getting any better. Like he only cares about himself. Like a lot of bad vibes around this whole team right now, man. Specifically surrounding the quarterback.
Yeah, and I'll go with New England. Everybody picked the Pats then?
Yep.
Well, I think that's it for this. So I guess now we'll go to the big question of the week.
No, because he sucks you guys in.
How would they kiss you?
So he sucks you guys right in. So consider yourself sucked.
So that we're coming to the end of What's Your Fantasy, at least for the Hawkster, because I'm not making the playoffs.
I'm on life support right now, man. So Lamar Jackson's my starting quarterback. So I was royally fucked on Sunday and lost, fell out of first place. So now I got to beat Jordan on Sunday, and then I got to hope this other guy in our league loses just so I can make the playoffs. It's not looking good, man.
So in 2 leagues, Seth's league, I'm completely done, and then the Chick-fil-A league, I'm completely done. But I am going to make the playoffs in the other 3 leagues. Man, last week was just not a good week for me, though. I think I won 1 game last week. I think I went 1-4, so it was not a good fantasy week for me. I have Waddle in almost every league. He got hurt, and I have Kenneth Walker in every league, and he also got hurt. So,
what about your big money league? Are you still alive in it, or?
Yeah, I'm in first place in that. So that league, I had my first loss in 7 weeks. I had Waddle and Walker both go out in the game, and I still only lost by 7 points, but. Shit happens, man. My team is still strong, though. I have Jalen Hurts. I have Justin Jefferson. I have Kelsey. So I'll still be fine.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 2, man, and I'm not going to make the playoffs in either league. And one of the leagues, I was the top point man last year and dominated it. But this year, I don't know if any of you guys do auction leagues, but we had a couple guys in our league who had never done auction, and I don't know what happened, but it made everybody just spin like
Panic.
crazy, like I had never seen. Because every year for the last like 5 years, all the drafts it kind of went the same, and then this year, I just didn't know what to make of it, and I just didn't do good, and my team sucks.
When you bring newbies into an auction league that have never done it before, it always fucks it up because they'll nominate a player and they think that means like if you nominate the player, you have to win the bidding. So that happened to one of my leagues, and somebody spent like $90 on Christian McCaffrey. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You only get $200.
Yeah. Well, Taylor went for big in our league. That was the big one, like $75, and then he's just kind of shit the fucking bed. So at least I didn't do that. I always play Moneyball in the auctions, and that's why it was weird for me because like quarterbacks had never went from, even like Mahomes and Allen were going for like 30 tops. Like they would, I think that was the most a quarterback ever went for in a league was like 30. And then this year you had to pay like $55 for one of the top QBs because it's a QB driven league. And I'm making excuses for sucking, but I just sucked. And I don't have as much time as I used to. As a young man, I could have 5 teams and pay equal attention to all 5 of them, no problem. But now life comes at you, and one of my teams, sometimes I forget I even have a second fantasy team. So this is probably my last year in that league. I can't do it again. I just got to pick one league. Hopefully we get a good league with us next year that's competitive. Yeah. I want to know everybody in my league because I don't know about your guys' leagues. Do you know everybody in your leagues, or is it like
our league
2 or 3
that me and Jordan are together? It's been the same people for basically 17 years. Jordan got in on it, I think, 10 years ago, and he was the last new member. We haven't had a new member in this league in 10 years, so you get like some good like baked in rivalries and like league history and stuff. It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, we got one more little segment here, and this is just for Jordan. Are you rich, Jordan?
Dude, this is the best week I think I've ever had in gambling. I'm not going to lie. I hit every bet on Saturday for college football, and then I rolled it up on Sunday. I put the most money I've ever put on a game. I'm not going to tell you guys what it was, but it was the under on the Ravens-Broncos game. There was 19 combined points. The over-under was 40.5.
Jeez.
And I put a shitload on it.
On the under?
The over-under is 40.5 on that game?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? What were they doing? They thought it was going to be 40 points between those two teams?
I thought that line was all screwed up. It kind of made me nervous betting that because I was like, man, this should be like 32.
Sometimes if you see something way off like that, you're like, fuck, maybe like Vegas knows something we don't, like, 3 of the starting DBs are going to be out for the Ravens or something.
Yeah. Dude, Vegas was on this week on some over-unders, though. So Eagles-Titans, you cannot tell me that Vegas doesn't have a hand in some of these games. Eagles-Titans, the over-under was 44.5. There was 45 points scored.
Jeez.
The Chiefs and Bengals, the over-under was 52, and there was 51 points scored.
Yeah.
Like I don't just, and the Chiefs missed a field goal to tie that game. Like it's just wild to me. My other big bet, I took the Cowboys for a ton of money, and I was panicking going into the fourth quarter of that game. I took the over on the Titans, Eagles, and then I also took the Vikings and the over on the Lions, Jaguars. So I hit everything this week. That's the first time that's happened in a long time.
Fly me out to Nebraska.
And I did give 2 free bets out on here last week when me and Hawk were doing this. I said bet everything you got on the Cowboys and bet everything you got on the under in the Ravens-Broncos game. Both hit.
So you said you gave out free bets. Is there another service where people pay you to get betting recommendations?
No. I give out free bets to the listeners. Like
the goodness of his heart.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, man.
So my buddy, who's also a Colts fan, who's also fucking retarded, by the way, he threw $900 on the Colts money line against the Cowboys. And his logic was the Colts always win the games they're supposed to lose. And he was so fucking proud of himself when the game was close and the game was close. And then we ended up getting rolled. Just $900 just in a trash can, set it on fire, watch it burn. Like, if you want to play $900, fine, okay. But come on, money line on the Colts this year, you deserve to lose $900.
Yeah, I've had some
Why not
bad
just take the
beats
points,
before.
man? Like,
Yeah. Still wasn't enough.
No,
Yeah.
it would have been going into the fourth though. If you had the points, you'd have thought like, man, I think I stand a chance here. And I actually turned that game off with like 10 minutes left to go. So it was out of hand. I think we were down like 2 scores. Then they were driving for a third. But man, when I checked the score after the game, I'm like, what the fuck happened
they just
from
kept
when I
reeling
turned
off
that
those
game
fucking
off?
rushing touchdowns nonstop, man.
God, it got fucking ugly. But so do you have any bets for this week, Jordan?
So I already put in, I got Cowboys, Texans. I got Cowboys at 16. I like that a lot. I like the over on Vikings, Lions. It's 53 right now. I still like that a lot. I think there's going to be a ton of points scored in that game. And I really like the Seahawks, man. They're given 3.5 points against the Panthers at home. I don't know why that line's so low, honestly. I really like the Seahawks in that game.
And that's it.
That's all I
Follow
got, man.
that, and then you might have another weekend like Jordan had this week.
Not this week. I'll go on 3 guaranteed.
Have you been betting the World Cup, dude, or no? Do you not
I
bet
try to
soccer?
stay away from that because it's really hard. When it gets to these rounds, I try to bet it a little bit more. The only reason I don't do early rounds is because there can be draws and you lose money on a draw. So I don't.
Gotcha.
But these rounds, I usually try to bet more. There's just hasn't been a whole lot I liked. I almost bet Portugal today, but I decided not to.
Soccer sucks.
Yeah,
That's
I agree, but I know Jordan's a degenerate gambler, so I thought maybe he was still betting
What's
on
the
it.
spread on soccer games? Is it always money line?
It's usually
or is
always
it-
money line. I don't think you can do spread on that. I
You
think
can
you
do
can
a
bet like
spread. You
over
can do
under
a
on
spread.
like goals and stuff.
You can do a spread. So usually, like the spread will be like 1.5 or 2.5 goals, like of what a team will win by. But generally, it's money line. You're exactly right. So like tomorrow's 2 games. I mean, we're going to talk about this now, guys.
It's big. Soccer is real big for like the prop bets, right? Like first
Yeah.
goal and stuff like that and everything.
So Brazil is minus 275 against Croatia, and Argentina is actually a dog at plus 120 tomorrow against Netherlands, which is pretty surprising.
Oh, the Netherlands.
Oh, wait, that's Friday. There's no games the next 2 days.
Oh, bummer.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
Oh, we could just chalk it up to no one gives a fuck
We
because
could.
it's soccer and it's America.
I was going off on
But
Jordan
whatever.
on Saturday. We watched I watched like the tail end of the fucking USA game, just seeing them get their fucking ass kicked. Who they played? Were they against the Netherlands? Jordan?
Netherlands, yeah. Netherlands.
Yeah, just fucking them up. And I was like, dude, imagine like you're really into this shit and you waited 4 years to see your team score fucking 4 goals at the World Cup and walk their ass home.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could play soccer in clogs. Man, we must suck if we get beat by the Netherlands. All right, fellas.
Dutch.
Any other wrap up? Any other last thoughts on this week of the NFL?
No, I
are
think the
fucking
Bengals
pathetic.
are looking fucking scary, man. And Tom Brady is still somebody you don't want to see in the playoffs, no matter what.
Yep,
Jordan?
Falcons are fucking pathetic. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, football season's essentially over for me. I just come and just drive the show. That's it. It's for the fans. It's all the long ball fans that I come and do the show for.
All right.
All right, fellas. I will see you next week. We'll see you all next week.